Hello, I wanted to do a screencast of a F-Sharp demo called the DirectX demo, or it's also called the F-Sharp 3D visualization demo, which you can download from fsharp.net. It uses a managed wrapper around the DirectX libraries, which you install separately. So I'll just kind of race through this. This is Visual Studio, of course, and it's really common when writing F-Sharp programs to just write the text of the program in the editor window and then highlight it and hit Alt-Enter, and that sends it to the interactive window down below, down here. So that's what I've been doing so far. I'm just hitting Alt-Enter. And this is kind of a style of programming in F-Sharp that's pretty common. It actually reminds me a lot of Tcl, where you have an interactive shell or window, and then you can pull up a GUI and you can add things to it. So right now I've just loaded some prerequisites, I've imported some namespaces, and here's our first form. So I think I'll just kind of race through this stuff to get through it rather quickly. So putting some lights on it. So here we have the scene is coming together. So now we're going to add the ability to interact with the mouse here. And you can see this is actually pretty slick so far, that you can build something like this and interact with it while while you're still building the program. So now we're going to display a function. Here we go. You can still whip that around. I am demoing this out on a laptop which has a dedicated GPU, but I've also tried it out on a laptop which just has the integrated Intel graphics capabilities, and it's actually just as responsive on that machine too. The point being that the performance is pretty good. So we can change the function. FF is the function that was defined. There's another one there. Let's change it once again. So you can even add a time component to it. Pretty cool. So let's say we wanted to adjust the range. You can see there it's going from -1 to 1, and let's say we want to change the range from 0 to 1. It would be like this. And this process, I think, is pretty typical of using F-Sharp, where you're just sort of in the program, for lack of a better way of putting it, and you're exploring the algorithm and exploring the program as you're writing it and seeing the results in real time. So here this defines a function called ripple, which you'll see the effect of in a second, and here we're going to change the FF function to be ripple. Pretty cool. So again, you can sort of tinker around with changes in F-Sharp and just sort of watch the changes take place as you execute them. Here we're changing the mesh. Let's say you're doing some sort of, I don't know, whatever, machine learning application or something like that. This would you'd be sort of in the algorithm here in your application, developing it. I'm sorry, seeing the results as you're developing it. So now these are just some helper functions for something that we're going to do next. We're going to add a ball to it. So we have gravity. We're going to define a ball. There's all sorts of functions here for displaying the ball. So it's all sort of set up in the background now. Here's a function called draw ball, and move balls is in there also. And we're getting close to rendering it, so let's see what happens when we add one there. Oh, can we see it? No. Sorry, got fooled there. Right, so we're going to set up a bowl instead. Change the function. Great, yeah, now we're going to add the ball. Which you can see there. You can see it moving around. There's a normal vector displayed. I hope that comes out pretty clearly. And then now we can add a train of balls using the F# asynchronous workflows. There's a whole bunch of them. So now we can also move the floor. So now we have the function. The floor is varying in t and time, and we have a bunch of balls moving around. We can increase the rate and increase it yet again. We can change the function back to the ripple function which we defined earlier. We can change the range of that. Let's say we want to change the mesh there. And what happens is with this ripple function is that eventually all of the balls kind of get gathered down here in the bottom. So anyhow, here was a quick little demo. You can do all of this yourself. You just everything that I've displayed here is totally free. So you can use the F# integrated shell, which is free. You can use the F# compiler itself, which is free, and the DirectX SDK, which you can download for free, and of course this sample code you can download from fsharp.net also for free. So enjoy.